Top 10 best ultimate attacks in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. Oh, well, hello there everyone, and welcome to the video. Thank you ever so much for clicking on this video today. Like what I've just mentioned, this is going to be my personal list of what I personally consider to be the top 10 best ultimate attacks usable by your CAC, your created character, your avatar, whatever you want to call it, as of right now in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. Do keep in mind, this is not necessarily a list of the strongest. I've already done videos on that in the past. Link in the description to my Xenoverse 2 and Xenoverse 3 top 10 video playlist. With that said, here are my top 10 best ultimate attacks to use in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. Number 10, Super Kamehameha. Now, this is one of those skills that you may think, oh, that's a bit of a random choice for this specific list. And to some extent, yes, maybe. But this is one of those attacks that I really do consider to be incredibly reliable. Kind of similar to skills such as Final Flash and to some lesser extent, Super Gallic Gun. The reason why this is on number 10 is because, well, as I've already just mentioned, it's an incredibly reliable skill. It only takes 3 bars of ki to use. It's a ki-based skill. It's pretty fast to activate and to actually, launch or fire, what have you. And I believe you get this from the 4th Goku training mission, which you can unlock kind of not early in the game, but it doesn't necessarily take that long to actually unlock. And depending on what build you use and what Super Soul and Limit Burst and stuff like that, you can actually make this a one-hit KO attack. Rather nice, and even though this isn't even the strongest Kamehameha ultimate attack in Xenoverse 2, the reason it's on number 10, more so than anything, is just the reliability and, stuff like that. Number 9, Body Change. Now, the reason why this is so high up on the list, well, rather, the reason why it's not lower on the list, or depending on whichever way you want to think of it, I guess. The reason why I put it on number 9 is because if you can successfully pull off the body change, for the most part at least, it's a game changer. It really is. If you have low health, then somehow manage to hit the body change on your opponent that has higher health than you, well, like I just said, it's pretty much a game changer. Now, the reason why it's so high on the list is because, again, 3 bars of ki to use, that's fantastic. But if you scan your opponent's moveset or they pick a character that has body change, such as Captain Ginyu or Vegeta Ginyu, or if there's any other presets I forget off the top of my head, then it's something that they probably will want to try and do, given how specific it is to run body change. And the activation time, it's not the best, it's not the worst, don't get me wrong, but it's not the best either. It's great if you can successfully pull it off, but for the most part, it's just not gonna happen. And before we continue there, at everyone's smiley face, it's been a while since I've said that, G Fuel flavor of the day, Battle Juice. Oh yes, it is. It's basically a pineapple flavor. Now, if you guys want to try that flavor or any number of the almost countless G Fuel flavors that they have so far, you can use my code, which is code CAC, CAC, on checkout to get 10% off your total G Fuel order. You can see it on the screen right now, code CAC. More info in the description of the video. And that said, let's continue with the list. Number 8, Spirit Sword. One of my personal favorite skills in the entirety of Xenoverse. Shout out to Vegeta. This does take 4 bars of ki, so do keep that in mind. But here's the thing. If you're hit with it, you cannot use your limit burst to get out of it. So if you've got your stamina broken, or you went for stamina reset, or what have you, or you've got less than 2, or in some cases, less than 3 bars of stamina, so you can't use your evasive, oh, that's rather unfortunate. Because you're going to be out of luck. Yeah, 4 bars of ki to use, a good amount of damage, and you can't protect yourself with a limit burst. Keep in mind, this is just a little bit of a pain to unlock, because I believe you get this from either the Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta or Super Saiyan Blue Goku expert missions, which I think you have to complete the game to actually attempt those, or so you can actually unlock it. So do keep that in mind, but this is a fantastic ultimate attack. Up next at number 7, we have Gigantic Roar. Oh, yes, we do. Now, with that said, do keep the following in mind. This is a DLC skill, so you technically can get it whenever if you attempt the mission and you actually beat it. I believe this is from DLC 8, also known as Extra Pack 4. I think it's the Dragon Ball Super Broly DLC. Keep that in mind. It does take 5 bars of ki to use. It's not even close to the strongest ki-based ultimate attack, even on this list. But here's the thing. It can't be blocked, and it only hits once, unlike skills such as the full power energy volley, which is a sort of like barrage, or even any skill on this list with the exception of body change. So you limit bursting to protect yourself from it, or even going for an evasive after it hits. It's just going to waste stamina and possibly even waste your limit burst. So with that said, that's the reason why this is number 7 on my personal list of the best ultimate attacks in the game. And it's fairly reliable as well for the most part. If you're hit with it, it's not exactly going to tickle. Number 6, Serious Bomb. As of right now, apparently it's Mirror's incomplete attack. Is that a hint towards Xenoverse 3? Maybe, who knows. This does take 5 bars of ki to use, and it's pretty powerful. You go for the uppercut, your opponent will then have to use an evasive or again limit burst to get out of it because of the knockback and stuff like that. And if it hits, man, again, it really is not at all going to tickle. Great skill, pretty reliable for the most part at least, but again, if your opponent does have enough stamina, they can just use their evasive to get out of it after the uppercut. But if it does hit them, it's going to do a fantastic amount of damage. Number 5, Destructive Fission, also known as the Hakai. Need I say more? No, but let's talk about it for a little bit anyway. This does take 4 bars of ki to use, but here's the thing. Once you use it, it will for, I don't know how long it is, like 15, maybe even 20 seconds, maybe more, I really don't know. It will follow whoever you are locked on to, and you can change it. I believe at least change it depending on who you want to lock on and off of and stuff like that, and it will continuously for a good amount of time compared to other skills. It's going to chase your opponent, although it is fairly slow, not fairly slow, it is very slow in terms of chasing them and following them, but regardless, it will follow them. So if your opponent doesn't know what's happening, or is zoned out, or just isn't focusing, or just anything like that, it will hit them and do a rather respectable amount of damage. You can make this essentially a one-hit KO attack, depending on the build, Super Soul, Limit Burst, equipment, and stuff like that. Do keep in mind though, if you get your stamina broken, the Hakai will disintegrate. You need stamina to actually use it and for it to continue, well, and for it to follow your opponent. Number 4, Justice Combination. I think we can all agree that this should not take 3 bars of ki to use. This should take at least 4, but probably 5 bars of ki. Granted, it's not the strongest strike-based skill in the game, not even close, but man, just how it's almost instant when you activate it. You have to use an evasive to even have a chance of protecting yourself, and depending on what evasive you have, you may even have to use it twice, possibly even 3 times, and stuff like that. Like, this is just, very fast to use. Again, pretty much, for the most part, it's instant with the kick, uppercut, or whatever it's called. And if you're blocking, it's going to slice through your stamina like it's a warm knife going through butter. And that is actually a good strategy to use for this specific skill. If your opponent is on low stamina and they block, Justice Combination, and then if they have a limit burst, they more than likely will use a limit burst to even, like, again, stand some sort of sliver of a chance at protecting themselves. Pretty overpowered, even low. Well, not even low. It's overpowered because it only takes 3 bars of ki to use, and it's pretty reliable. Number 3, the times 100 Big Bang Kamehameha. Oh ho ho ho! Dude, 5 bars of ki to use, a key-based skill. I believe this is technically, as of right now at least, the strongest Kamehameha attack in Xenoverse 2. I think it is. It's either between that and the final Kamehameha when you take away limit bursts and super souls and stuff like that. 5 bars are key to use, as I've already said, but if you're locked off from your opponent, it will rotate and do significantly more damage than if you're just locked onto your opponent, you know, normally. So it can also be used to attack several opponents at once, again, if used locked off. I think you get this, if memory serves, from Parallel Quest 100, which again I believe is the last parallel quest in Xenoverse 2 before the DLC, not the new PQs, which is the DLC. I want to say you can also get this from the TP Metal store. I'm not entirely sure, but man, this is a great skill, one of the best as right now in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. Number 2, Power Rush. This would easily be number 1 if it wasn't for 2 reasons, but really just one, and that main reason is this: it takes 10 bars of key to use. As of right now in Xenoverse, that's the max amount of key you can have on your CAC, created character avatar. Oh yes, but I had to point out number 2 because if you can fully land this, it's going to just destroy your opponent. It's going to do a great amount of damage, even if you're a key-based character. Yeah, really. And if you're a strike-based character, it's going to pretty much defeat them easily or put them on so little health that if items are on, they'll have to use an item or they just won't realistically be able to make a meaningful comeback in that specific battle. This is the go-to one-hit KO attack. And number 1, Final Explosion. If you use the strongest possible build for every single ultimate attack usable by your CACs in Xenoverse 2 right now, with a limit burst and stuff like that, Final Explosion, without a doubt, is the strongest attack. It will one-shot your opponent, but then you'll keep going and going and going and going and going. I think you can get like at least 70,000 damage if you use this in Super Saiyan Blue Evolution. This build is, I don't even know how to describe it, how powerful it is. Yes, a drawback is that for this to do the most damage possible, you do need max stamina. The more stamina, the longer you can prolong it, therefore the better it is and the stronger it is. That is a bit of a downside, but given how much damage this can do if you do it properly, I think that downside is just completely negated by how strong this can potentially be. This is a fantastic attack if used properly. And that is my list. Do you agree or disagree with me? Do let me know in the comments. And with that said, I will see you next time.